In this video I will show you how to create a single-choice list and multi-choice list for an Unity Android app. I will create a Unity plugin that will enable this functionality. This video will continue on top of previous video of creating an alert dialog for Unity Android app. Click on top to go to that video. And finally I will show how to pick date and time using Android date and time picker and get it to Unity. Here is the previous Android project. In this video I will not be creating a new Android library and will use the previous library module itself. You can create a new library. For that you need to go to File, New Module. Select Android Library, change the config and click on Finish. I have gone through this process in previous videos, kindly go through them for better understanding. First, create a new Java class, native Android plugin. This will create a Java class file. Create a new log tag. And follow the same procedures to receive Unity activity from Unity app to Android plugin. Create a variable to hold Unity activity, then create a method that will receive Unity activity from Unity and assign it to previously created variable. Now create a new Java interface, plugin callback, to store all your callback definitions. Create a variable of type plugin callback to hold the plugin callback that will be received from Unity. For completeness sake I will also add method to show the 3 buttons alert dialog. Here inputs will be the message or heading of dialog, whether it will be cancelable, and the display text for 3 buttons. Inside the method, create a alert dialog builder, passing Unity activity to it. Set the message and cancelable as per inputs. Now start adding buttons here. First the positive button, use set positive button for this, set the display text, then the on-click listener event, which will be called whenever this button is clicked. Now go to plugin callback. Here we will add a callback that will be received to Unity whenever this button is clicked. Create a public method, which takes an integer, type, as input. Here type will be 0 for positive button, 1 for negative and 2 for neutral. Go back to on-click for positive button and here call the clicked alert method from plugin interface passing 0 as input. Then cancel the dialog. Do the same for negative button, only changing the display text and input as 1 to clicked alert inside on-click to negative button. Similar for the neutral button with corresponding changes. Then create a alert dialog from previously defined alert dialog builder and call method to show the same. Coming to main part, now create method to show single item list. Here inputs are first the title of the list, cancelable, the string array that will consist the names of all items in the list, and the name of positive and negative buttons. Similar to previous, start by creating a alert dialog builder, passing Unity activity to it. Here instead of message set the title, and the cancelable. Then create a single element array, clicked items, that will hold the index of element that has been selected. Now set the single choice items, passing the string array of items list, the default clicked item, and then on click listener event. Here inside on click set the value of only element of clicked items to the index which is selected. Now creating a positive button with corresponding display text and on click listener. Go to plugin callback, create a new method, update single item list, with an integer input. This integer will correspond to the index of items selected in the list. Go back to onClick of positive button for single choice item list and here call the update single item list method from plugin interface passing the value of clicked items as input. Then cancel the dialog. Do the same for negative button, only changing the display text and cancelling the dialog on click to negative button. Same as previous, create a alert dialog from previously defined alert dialog builder and call method to show it. Now create method to show multi-choice item list. Here inputs are first the title of the list, cancelable, the string array that will consist the names of all items in the list, and the name of positive and negative buttons. Similar to previous, start by creating a alert dialog builder, passing Unity activity to it. Here set the title, and the cancelable. Then create a Boolean array, checked items, of size same as items list, that will be true if the particular element has been selected. By default set all values to false. Now set the multi-choice items, passing the string array of items list, the default checked items list array, and then on click listener event. Here inside on click set the value of element of checked items to the state of that particular item. Similar to single choice list, set the positive and negative buttons for this one. Now go to plugin callback, create a new method, update multi-item list, with an Boolean array input. This array will hold information whether a particular element is selected or not. Now inside of onClick of positive button for multi-choice item list, call the update multi-item list method from plugin interface passing checked items array as input. No change for negative button. Same as previous, create a alert dialog from previously defined alert dialog builder and call method to show it. Now build the plugin and copy the plugin to plugins folder inside of Unity. In the Unity editor, create a new C# script, Android Native Manager, open it. Here follow the same method to send the Unity current activity to the Android plugin. Watch the previous videos for more information. Call the initialize plugin at start. Here the plugin name will be package name.class name, which can be copied from the Android Studio project. For the purpose of enabling callback, create a new class, plugin callback, that will inherit from the Android Java proxy. Create a constructor for the same with base name as the package name.interface name. Copy all methods from plugin callback interface from Android Studio. Create a variable for the created plugin callback class. We would also have to pass this plugin callback to connect with plugin callback of Android plugin. Create a method set plugin callback that will take plugin callback as input and pass it to Android plugin. We also need a corresponding method in Android plugin. Go back to Android Studio and create a method that will receive plugin callback from Unity and assign it to plugin callback of Android plugin. Once again, built the module and copy the AAR plugin to Unity. Restart Unity if required. Going back to Unity, C# script, enable the method to do the same. Inside start, after initializing plugin, create and assign plugin callback, and call set plugin callback, passing it to Android plugin. Now create a string array item list of all items to select from. Create a new method, onClick single list, which will be called every time a Unity UI button is clicked. Inside it, call show single item list from plugin. Here pass the parameters accordingly. Create a method to get the corresponding output from single item list with integer as input, which corresponds to the index of item in items list selected, that is received from Android plugin. Here just output the corresponding item selected as a debug log message. Inside your plugin callback class, add a variable to hold current script, and inside the update single list, call the previously created method to get single item. Inside the start, set the variable holding current script to this. Now do the same for multi-item list. First create a new method for onClick of UI button, which will call the show multi-items list from Android plugin, passing the proper parameters. Create a method to get multi-items from Android plugin. This will take bool array as input. Inside it, for each element, check if the value is true, then output the corresponding item from item list as debug log. Finally, create a method to show the 3-button alert dialog box, which will call create 3btn alert from Android plugin, passing the corresponding inputs. Now inside the plugin callback, click Alert method, check input and then output the corresponding as debug log. Also call the getMultipleItems from update multi-items list method, passing the bool array as input. Create a new Unity scene. Open it and create 3 UI buttons for Alert, Single Choice List and Multi-Choice List. Attach the Android Native Manager script to any game object in the scene and assign the respective methods for on-click of 3 buttons. Build the APK. Here you can see the app screen. When clicked on Alert it shows Alert Dialog with 3 buttons, and when clicked on those buttons they output corresponding message. When click on Single Item, the list defined shows where you can select an option and get that value. Same for Multi-Item button, here select multiple items and the selected items are shown in Logcat. Now we will create a date picker and time picker. Go to Android Studio project, create a new method pickDate, which will show the date picker. Here first get the instance of calendar and create variables to get current year, month and day of month, which will be passed as default value to date picker. Create a date picker dialog, passing Unity activity as input. Now create on date set listener, passing it to the date picker dialog. Also pass the default values. Go to plugin callback, create a callback method, on date picked, which will take 3 integers, year, month and day as input. Call the same from on date set inside on date set listener. Similarly, create a new method, pickTime, which will show the time picker. First get the current values. Do not forget to show date picker dialog inside date pick method. Back to pickTime, create a time picker dialog, passing Unity activity as input. Now create on time set listener, passing it to the time picker dialog. Go to plugin callback, create a callback method on time picked which will take 2 integers, hours and minutes as input. Call the same from on time set inside on time set listener. Also pass the default values and whether to view clock in 24 hours format. And show the time picker dialog. Now build the plugin and copy the same to Unity. Go to Unity C# script, create a method pickDate that will call the pickDate from Android plugin. Do the same for pickTime. Inside plugin callback include methods onDate picked and onTime picked. Inside them output the corresponding received value as debug log. Go to Unity Editor and create additional buttons for date and time. Assign the corresponding methods to on click of both buttons. Build the app. Click on Pick Date, you can see the date picker, select any date, the selected date can be seen in Logcat. Same for time.